The Lumix S9 is the perfect everyday carry for me. Let's talk about it. So I'm not going to sit here and bore you with the specs. I'm not going to sit here and tell you about all the things, other YouTubers have talked about this camera. I'm not here to talk about specs. I'm not here to talk about why this camera is perfect for you. If you're here watching this video, I really want you to understand why this camera is perfect for me. This is the Lumix S9. This probably won't autofocus. It is what it is. And like I said in the beginning, this camera is the best camera for me. So let's start from the beginning and why I think these things. And it starts off because of this L mount on this camera. Many of you may know I shoot mostly with Leica cameras with the hint of Lumix camera. What's currently filming me is the Lumix S5 Mark II. And what I usually shoot in the studio out and about is usually a Leica SL3. If you follow me on Threads or Instagram, you know that I've been really fighting the urge to buy any new equipment this year, but I feel like this camera is not going to complete my workflow. And let me tell you why. So right now I have a Leica SL3, a Leica M10 Monochrome. I'll link up a recent video that I did up top somewhere, a Lumix S5 Mark II, and now a Lumix S9. The thing that are common about 3 of those 4 cameras is that they all use the L mount, which means I only have to buy L mount lenses for 3 different cameras, which currently I have a Sigma 28-70, a Sigma 28-45, a Sigma 85, a Lumix 20-60, a Lumix 35 1.8. All 4 of those lenses, I might be missing some, can be used interchangeably in all 3 cameras. One of the things I really take in consideration early or late or even early 2022 is I wanted to dive in fully into the L mount alliance. I'm not going to name all the camera companies or brands that are associated with that L mount alliance, but I'll say this: it makes it a lot easier to not really have to think about what camera I'm bringing or which lenses I'm bringing for X amount of cameras. I could go out and bring something like the S9 with the SL3 to a paid gig and just share lenses in between. And of course, I have an L to M adapter that allows me to adapt M glasses to all my L mount cameras, which will make it my package or what I need to travel with a lot easier as well. I like to go out and shoot street photography. I also like to I really started doing this thing of street videography in a way as well. So what I mean by that is normally when I'm out in the street, I'll just snap a few photos, keep walking, snap a few photos. But right now, what I've really been enjoying is also creating scenes and shooting that via video, because sometimes it is awesome seeing individuals walking through a scene that I captured via photo, etc., etc. Carrying the Lumix S5, if I were to strip everything away from it, will be a great camera to bring around. But I already have it set up, and I really don't want to have to always take all these things off just to go out and about to take some videos and then come here and put it all back together and shoot this YouTube video, for instance. That is one of the major gaps that the Lumix S9 is filling for me, because now that I have this small, very, very small, portable, very capable camera in my hand, all I have to go out is with an autofocus lens. Of course, I could adapt it to PL mount lenses, but an autofocusing lens and the camera body. Recently, I took it to a trip to New York, and all I did was just film walking around, film the two guys that I met up with, Blake Leica, or Blake, he goes by Leica Blake, and Mark, which if any of you follow me and ever see me on Instagram, I'm usually talking about Mark or Blake or a whole bunch. Another way this camera is fitting in perfectly in my camera bag is the fact that I don't have an everyday carry color camera. I usually go out with the monochrome camera, the Leica M10 Monochrome, but sometimes I do have that urge to shoot in color. And I didn't have anything before to go out with and shoot in color. Of course, I do have the Leica SL3. That camera's heavy. Of course, like I just talked about recently, I have the Lumix S5 Mark II, but that camera is rigged out and very bulky to walk around with on an everyday basis. So that's where the Lumix S9 fits in my camera bag. Of course, also, I could then adapt M glass to this camera and use two different M lenses on the M10 Monochrome and the Lumix S9. We're all aware that Lumix basically wanted content creators to have this camera, or to give them a way to have such an amazing camera at an affordable price to create amazing content with. Of course, you know, there's probably some people in that demographic that actually bought the camera, but I know I am not really a person who thinks video first or content creation first. But I do like shooting video, and this fits perfectly in my environment. I am currently highly invested in L-mount glass, so the more L-mount bodies there are that are capable of doing what I needed to do is amazing. Like I said, the Leica SL3 is great for studio, is great for any client work. That could be from events, that could be from hospitality, it could be any and everything in between. When I am out and about shooting anything for a client, I could also bring the Lumix S9 and do any mini videos at any given time without even having to think about it. I could just adapt the current L mount lens that I have on my SL3 to the Lumix S9, or I could bring a separate lens for the S9. It's the jack of all trades. And when I am out and about just shooting around with my Leica M10 Monochrome, I could also bring the S9 with me, either for video purposes or just to shoot color. I'm hoping to always have this Lumix S9 in my camera bag whenever I'm traveling with whatever setup that I'm traveling with. Yes, I know the camera only has 24 megapixels, but honestly, that is more than enough for me. And as of right now, I'm truly enjoying the camera. With that being said, I hope you like what you heard here today. If you don't mind liking and subscribing to the channel, that'd be really appreciated. With that being said, thank you very much.